we are live. Welcome back to Solar Coalition, episode 10.
Woo!
Yeah.
They're in double digits.
It's kind of nuts.
So,
Didn't think we'd get this far.
we're down Fee tonight. She didn't feel up to it. Been a long week for everyone.
Mm.
And I'm sorry, our schedules are all over the place, so that's why I'm not scheduling these.
Yeah.
I found out about this game last night.
I found out about this game last night.
Good timing.
She doesn't speak well to what's about to happen.
Yay.
You make do.
90% of my games were off the top of my head. And you guys seem to have fun. I have faith in you. So where we left off, we were in space in transit. We had a new daughter of the Solar Lunar Coalition leader, who's also, we had that huge lore drop of, oh my god, he's also the leader of the moon race, which are in disarray right now because of certain actions that inexplicably happened.
A series of unfortunate events.
I
yeah.
found them quite fortunate.
Well, we're very fortunate for you guys. Highly unfortunate for them.
Yes.
But yeah, we got through that whole lore drop and made tentative plans for somewhat of a moon coup once you guys got there. And I think right at the end of this session, you guys pulled into
25.
probably should have gotten my space map ready.
I have a little
25, yeah.
yeah. I have a little colony time down on the side of my
Yeah.
sheet. It's been going for a while.
Literally just been...
True.
So I am using the media that I've collected so far to put together so that most of the media has a general image or idea of overcoming adversity and oppressive dictatorship and such.
Yeah.
You know, overcoming the villain.
Very, make love not war.
Yeah.
You're going to turn the daughter of the Lunar Wraith leader into a hippie.
And stand up for your rights. You know, a lot of the hero movies
Yes.
and
I just imagine every Christopher Reeve Superman movie.
Yep.
Even the bad ones.
Yep.
Alright, yeah. So you guys, we'll just pick it up straight from last time because you guys weren't going to be at this colony for too long. But you guys pulled in here. You're pretty much having a 12-hour layover here while I believe it's the coalition is gathering together. Basically a convoy they're sending along with you. Because you guys have been made openly a target by the Lunar Wraith several times over. Including when, what was his name, Lazarus just doxed you guys out in open space. But yeah, you guys pulled in to port probably about an hour ago, so colony is all yours. If there's any stores you want to try to find, any people you wanted to reach out to.
Did they get the parts for my ship upgrade to start?
Which ship upgrade was that?
I was going to start installing those generators
Oh, okay. Rolls.
and the materials for the shielding, the nanites. So I have a cloaking ship.
How would I do that? Yeah. It shows up kind of periodically over the next hour or so, but they all in all have all the parts for the installation of the extra, I believe the extra slots for more power cells and stuff like that. And you get basically just a giant package of raw materials for the nanites.
Cool. So get the ship working on that.
Yep. The people leave the boxes just sort of scattered around the perimeter of the ship, and once they're gone, all the claws deploy out.
And the drones and
In a
everything.
visage that'd be very creepy for anyone who didn't know what this crew was all about, but for you guys, it's pretty normal to see 100 claws just spring out of panels on the ships and start tearing materials apart and adding materials onto things.
Yeah, we really are desensitized now that I think about
It's
it. Looking
been-
at our ship, we are really desensitized.
I think the comparison was made to it like a crab tearing something apart, basically, and it's basically that, but a machine.
And that's not the weirdest thing we've seen this week.
At one point, it just grabs a forklift that was on standby. and fucking tears it apart. I was like, shit, we need
See if anyone notices.
we need some servos.
For it.
Good luck! Hey Steve, did you see where the forklift went? I left it here for refuel while I went on my lunch. I don't know, man. It was just kind of there 1 second and then gone the next. I don't know. Hey, does that ship look a little more like black and yellow striped to you? It kind of does. It's almost like a... Those seem kind of like the plier thing. Oh, it's kind of weird. The dock people are completely
I
unaware.
have no idea what you're talking about. So, that's basically what's filling my time.
Sam, at one point, I don't know what you're up to on the ship right now. It's just kind of in general procedure. You did hear that the crew chief was literally going into the engine to fix something. So they're kind of advising people to stay away from the engine for the time being in case anything goes boom.
I'll check in with, what's the little girl's name?
There was her actual name, and then there was the 10 fake names we came up with. So hold on.
What was the fake name?
I think the fake name was Natasha. Her real name is her real name is Zara. I think the fake name was Natasha.
Oh, so I'll go check on Natasha.
Yeah. So you can head in there. You see at this point that Amy was the AI.
Yep.
Yeah. We have a lot of NPCs now. You see Amy is actually attempting to converse with the sort of dome-headed android Kenzo that you guys picked up last time as well. And she's asking like these deep introspective questions about his experiences, and then he's giving like single or two-word answers. So they're not exactly getting along.
Well,
They're not getting along, but
I kind of get that. The AI
it's
is
a
talking
very
to the
advanced
android.
AI speaking to a very not advanced AI.
That's fair. How is Natasha?
You go in and you can tell she's kind of anxious, just sort of pacing around the room. Superman 4: The Quest for Peace is on the TV.
I don't even know which Supermans are which.
It was the last one
Yeah, Quest for
with
Peace. is-
Atomic Man, where he tries to single-handedly stop all conflict.
Oh, yeah.
He literally finds every nuke on the planet and throws it into space. 'Cause that's a
Yeah.
good idea.
No, actually, would not be. Because then they just go extra orbit, go into thing, and then flash back down, we have them to radioactive.
Well, in a universe where
Missiles.
with previously established aliens, you're not worried about this Earth-made missile just kind of floating out and hitting something.
True.
Well, if I remember right, wasn't he supposedly throwing them at the sun?
Oh yeah, he might have been throwing them at the sun. That makes a bit more sense.
It destroys them, ideally.
And feeds the sun. Giant
like a-
nuclear reactor anyway.
It's like a snack.
It's not wrong.
Yeah, she's kind of just like
Feed the
anxiously.
Phoenix Force.
But yeah, she's just kind of anxiously pacing around the room.
Okay,
Do you actually like go in to check on her and stuff? Or?
yeah, I'm just not a prisoner. I mean, I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
gonna through a fucking, like, slit a window here.
Well,
She's-
if you're actually going in, then she's like, Ran, right?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, Ran, it's nice to see you. We pull into port and whatnot?
Yes, we just got into port. I just wanted to check on you. I'm gonna go out and basically check my contacts or whatever. It's a little too dangerous for you to head out right now.
She actively does that and then like kicks like a can or something. It's like, damn it, I was hoping to get out of the ship. I haven't seen what the world is like in 40 years. It'd be interesting to see what has become of civilization.
I do kind of want to take her.
She's
anyway.
very much giving you... She's like saying all these fancy things, but she's very much giving you like a mischievous side eye.
Yeah, she's really trying to guilt me into it. I look over at the android. Is he just basically staring at me? Because I feel like he would be.
When you enter the room, he just abruptly stops paying attention to Amy and just turns to face you. And she's like, as I was saying, back when the AI wars, what are you? Oh, hello? Hello? Do you see her fingers snap and no noise happens because she's a hologram? She's like, Bingo, let's go to the cafeteria. And then she sort of vanishes and the dog barks and walks away.
That's fair. I speak to the android. What was his name?
Enzo.
Enzo. Yep. There it is.
That was close.
Yep. Enzo. If we want to take the young miss, I reference to Natasha. into the city, I have to ask you not to let her get within a meter away from you at all times, and you have to stay with me due to security concerns. Do you have any problem with that updated protocol?
He gets like scarily close. He's like, it would be my pleasure.
Not sure why the close was necessary. Now I'm scared. He's like, we're
meter?
going into the city. What up?
1 meter.
Yeah, it's 3 feet, right?
Yeah.
Approximately. Yeah, I just
So
want.
I have not received
So
a new
he's
order
always
in 40
within
years.
touch.
That was my thought. Well, and grabbing distance. Young girl. I'm not fucking around with young girls in markets of cities. We had PTSD from that moment before, when Feetrite almost got eaten by a shadow
Yeah.
twice.
But that's why I have a drone with her too.
Kenzo just he says
Yeah,
very,
no, we're tackling her with the drone. Oh my gosh, he's running! Ah!
Kenzo just says very matter of factly like it would be my honor to fulfill this request. I have not received a new order in 40 years, and it's nice to see authority.
Understood. Thank you, Enzo. As I
He,
take a step back.
he takes a step back at this point. Heavy boots clank.
Well, I know what he's capable of. We studied them in school. Those things are deadly.
Oh yeah, if you wanted to make a history check, I could tell you just how deadly these are.
16 base plus 2, 18.
As a military man, you would know that these androids aren't in use anymore because of how effective they are. These things, unnaturally quick, unnaturally strong, capable of killing entire squads of people. There's probably a reason why there's one guarding the lunar commander's daughter.
I'm not worried at
The
all.
genocide bot.
Yeah, that. Why aren't they in use anymore? Because one could kill a whole squad.
They were very
That's
much.
why.
They were very much murder bots.
Yeah. And he did after last session, I believe, get dressed up enough clothing to look human.
All of his mechanical bits are hidden. He's wearing like gloves, and he isn't wearing anything on his feet, but his feet look enough like boots that no one would really pay much attention to it. The only signification that he's a robot is his head, but even then, as I said last session, most people would just assume it's a helmet or something like
Yeah.
that.
He looks like a Jedi.
I was thinking like an IG robot with a little more anatomical correctness.
Yeah, he kind of looks like an IG robot, except the head is a lot wider.
Yeah, so it would look like a mask or a helmet.
It kind of looks like he's wearing a giant can on his head, I'm not going to lie.
That's not as weird here as some of our crews, so that's okay.
That's true.
As I go pet my flying kitty. I love Fluffy.
Make a perception roll.
Okay, that dice is not what I'm using now. 18. 15 plus 3.
On an 18,
Yep.
whatever the cat's name is, because it's
Fluffy.
Fluffy, okay. Fluffy rubs up against your leg, and you notice that yet again, it's bigger.
I love Fluffy.
At this point, it's probably the size of one of those dogs out there. Or maybe a little smaller than that.
I love Fluffy.
Definitely a little concerning.
Cool, I get to print up a big winged cat.
I was gonna say winged panther next.
The new Sphinx.
Oh shit. You never know with genetic manipulation. I like that crazy doctor. He gave me a kitty. That's kind of funny. Okay.
Okay, you still have the exploding frog.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking touch that shit.
No, you should totally use the exploding frog.
I would if the situation required. I know it's literally on my belt, like in one of the pouches. Like,
Yeah, this is just like the fire-breathing duck toy and actual one in yours.
which AKA was one of the only devices that ever blew up on me. Twice.
And at that point, you never wanted to use any of the mechanical animal bombs again.
He gave me like 4 more, and I'm like, thank you. Bag of holding, drop, and forget. And eventually erase the spot because he wasn't gonna touch him.
That was completely unintentional. I didn't know about that.
Well, no, it was just
Oh yeah, that was pre.
that was
Greg.
that was pre you on D&D. Yeah, no, my character Rupert. Do you remember Rupert? I don't know. You might have heard of him in passing. He was Curtis's sidekick, partner,
I
and
think,
buddy.
isn't Rupert the guy who did that forced upgrade on Zeta?
Yep.
For the session I wasn't here for.
Yeah, he's a little halfling that.
Yeah, so yeah, I know him.
Yep. He is a tinkerer.
Yeah,
And
okay.
and Curtis is much more tactical, technical, but Rupert he liked he being a gnome was like making toys. Now, granted, Curtis, out of respect for his buddy, tested out the first couple. First one worked like a charm. It was great. After that, the next 2 toys did not work, and the third blew up on him. So yeah, then he never touched any type of duck or
When rolls
fog.
go wrong.
Yeah.
All it takes is one bad roll.
And you have a exploding duck go boom in your hand.
But yeah, Kenzo's very agreeable to staying close and keeping an eye on the young miss. You do notice that those kind of like R2D2 camera eyes are, there's like one pretty much facing in like north, south, east, west on him. So you'd imagine he has like amazing peripheral vision.
Listen, if the Lunar Wraiths decide to attack a random person and pick him, I feel bad for them, so...
Pity the fool.
Yeah. So I tell the young miss, can I haven't talked to him in a while. Can I have Jenkins go get me a modern communicator from the storage? On the double?
Yes, Jenkin, like 2 minutes later.
Running by me.
You radio, you hear him in the next room, he picks up his comm, and you can hear him like just talking. He's like, yes, sir. And then you hear thump, 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 thump. Slam, thump, 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 and then he's immediately at the door.
I'll walk over to the door, so I don't hear.
He's got like 5 in his hands.
Is there like a really smaller unit? I'm mostly
Like a
looking
wrist
for
unit?
a locator as opposed to like a full message board. Just in case. I'm paranoid as shit, might as well
Like a
be.
communicator or just
Yeah.
an active tracker?
An active tracker with a beacon.
Okay.
I mean, you're right. That's more what I'm looking for. I don't.
Yeah,
really,
there's it's sort of like it almost looks like an Apple Watch basically.
That is
of just like
perfect.
a bracelet that has basic communications functions, but also you can immediately link its signal to your comm, so you can get GPS coordinates on it.
Yep.
It basically has a Find My Phone function.
That is exactly what I want. I give that to him. I look at Enzo. Enzo, we have a tracking device. Connect to it. I'll give him a second.
Dink.
I'll activate it and I'll
Bluetooth
just
connection enabled.
watch this actually be a modified watch. Just like years later. So after that, I'll tell the young miss, we're gonna go into the city.
Yes.
You stay near Enzo. He is
Okay.
now pre-programmed to make sure you stay near him. We don't know the situation, so stay close to me. We're just gonna go around, go into a couple stores, and then come back. I walk out. I tell her to be ready in 20 minutes, and I'll head outside, call Dara and Reynolds over, just to
Come over.
powwow with them and ask if they need anything from the colony. I'm gonna head out for a bit with the young girl.
Dara does say she's running low on shells for her cannon. They're a little hard to find.
Okay, I tell her.
They don't have a lot of spares on board. So
What are these, like, ion grenades? Like, that's what I look at every time I see them. They're just big
I think I
explosions of
previously
blue.
said this might as well be like mounted on the side of a ship, basically.
So it's a cannon.
It is a cannon. She says if you can find a weapons dealer,
All right.
even if you just find one and point her in the right direction, she'd appreciate it.
I'll look at while I'm out there.
She might pick up some general stuff for the crew.
Okay, sounds good. I'll let you know, and I'll keep an eye out. I tell Reynolds that he's on ship protection detail.
Yes, sir. I'll coordinate with Boris. He is still here, even though I forget about him all the time.
I'm still surprised I forgot about him too. Poor Boris. I basically will then radio to you.
I will say before we get to that, the ship alerts you as you're working on whatever project you're working on towards basically an email that you receive, like inquiry.
Okay.
Locally sourced, like signal comes from this colony.
Okay.
From a
Please share.
one, if I can find my new list of random sci-fi names. So I went through all the other ones. From one, Odin Carthen. He reaches out, very professional sort of message. It's got this like whole readout on like him and what he does, and then like an audio message. He's basically just reaching out to inquire about business because he recently came into something that he figured the organizer of the What the Fuck channel would appreciate dearly, and he knows talent when he sees it, and he'd love to broker a deal with someone who's very much the first rising star the Earth sphere has had in a while.
Okay. Do a bit of research on this station. What is the most public, like high-end eating location?
Alfredo's.
And is it another branch of the fucking restaurant chain that I'm part of?
No, if it was a high enough roll, it would have been, but I rolled a 4, so it's not.
They have McDonald's.
They've got just the fanciest McDonald's. It's like that scene in Kingsman.
Oh, you're actually gonna go with that? Fuck.
But it'd be hilarious if it was like that scene in Kingsman where Samuel L. Jackson's in his mansion having McDonald's.
Right.
No, but there is like a it's like a fancier sort of pub slash bar area. I don't know how to name a bar, so
Tavern.
yeah. So it's the
Bar would probably not even be like
Yeah.
a place you can get food most of the time.
we'll call
Skiff's
it the,
counter.
Sure, Skiff's Counter. That's what it's called.
I come up
Sure.
with names quick. Apparently.
I had a list of human names, not a list of location names.
Yep. So
Yeah,
Skiff's
so
counter.
the Skiff's Counter. See, they have a little logo where it's like a guy on like a hoverboard, basically.
All right, then set up an appointment to meet with him at Skiff's counter in a couple hours.
Received pretty quick. You get a response immediately from his people that's like, agreed, we look forward to it. We can send you like a GPS location of where it is within the colony and whatnot.
I have researched it, so I already know where it is.
They're being very official. But yeah, they're very interested in talking business with you.
Okay. So, my cool suit has been injected with the nanites and stuff now. So,
Yeah, it's as you guys have been pulling in here, and the second the materials got here, the ship has been, its little claws come out of the interior walls, and it's like in Iron Man 2 when the Avengers, when he has the whole assembly that takes the suit off of him with all the little claws and stuff. It's like that, but they're like taking parts off, modifying, putting it back on, and right around then it finishes up.
I just figured I took the whole suit off and let her
Yeah.
upgrade it. and
Well,
put
it's
it
basically
back
just
on.
been standing in a corner while the ship has been modifying it like that.
Yeah. So I will put on my new spiffy suit.
The power armor.
Yep. And that now looks all spiffy and cool.
Oh, it's spiffy. It's whatever color you want it to be.
Purple.
I'll say since it has nanobots, you could probably actively change the coloring on it,
Yeah, I'm going like full purple pimp.
like deep metallic purple,
Yeah, deep metallic purple.
same color as the ship.
Yeah.
Got that branding on point.
Yeah, I'm going full pimp style, man.
And I'd say around here is when you finish up having that conversation and can reach out and whatnot.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, you're going for a walk around town? That's perfect. I'm going for one too.
Where are you headed? Do you have scheduled places to go or just looking for shopping?
Skiff's counter in a couple hours. I got to meet with someone. It's right in the center of the main central shopping district and such. So
I should be, 2 hours. I should probably have to go back by then. So
Yeah, you'd have her back by then, but as he says, Skips Country, she's like, "Ooh, what's that? Is that like a tourist spot? Is that a bar? I've always wanted to go to a bar.
highly recommended place to eat.
It's like a bar. I've always wanted to go to a bar. I've seen them in the movies. People get into fights there."
That is funny that we have like a 16-year-old girl who basically only thinks movies when it comes to bars.
Yeah. So, and I'll instruct the ship, keep a close eye on her.
Her,
And keep me updated if there's anything that ever that happens.
yeah, the ship has been on top of the drone that you assigned to her. It's been having other drones shadow her, just sort of in general, keeping an eye.
My ship's a voyeur.
So it says that it'll be safe.
I'm slowly building K.
as per usual, as
That
it's
would
kind
not be a
of
goal.
as per usual when you guys have gotten to colonies, the ship does like, send out a detachment of drones to advertise throughout the city and whatnot. With those like hollow things, just general like
Oh, general advertising?
just general advertising for
What the fuck channeling?
what the
yeah,
fuck
to
channel and
commercials.
sponsor. Yeah, just running commercials around the city basically.
Yeah, as I'm scanning the whole place and learning every nook and cranny and shit.
It's a pretty fancy. As you guys get closer to Earth, you're hitting progressively fancier and fancier colonies. As you think it's very much like to live on Earth is somewhat of a luxury, and the people who live in and around like the Earth sphere, as it's been called, are not quite like the
Earth
highest.
is the center of technology
Yeah.
and everything. So, we're coming from the boonies where everything is all ghetto and retro.
Yeah.
And
Mars
cobbled
was
together.
very fancy, but all the colonies in between were like pretty much MacGyvered together to just function as a railway leading to it. But as you guys go closer to Earth, you're progressively running into like fancier and fancier cities.
These are the ones that got funding.
Yeah. Well, also they receive active supply shipments quick because they're close to Earth and not half a year away.
So yeah, you want to go explore? We'll go shopping.
Sure. The android and the girl are coming with us.
Perfect. I already have a surveillance network up.
I'm so not surprised. I said that in character. I'm not denying it. But yeah, so I tell him that I'll grab the girl and be ready in about 10.
Sure, I'll meet you out front.
So yeah, after 10 minutes.
You come back and she has discarded the sort of the like very much fancy sort of like
Cryo suit that she wore.
suit, the very fancy outfit she was wearing for just a basic jumpsuit. She mentions that I figured it would look good with my disguise, since we're trying to be incognito about this.
Nope, that sounds good.
And so am I using that word right? Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like basically a Siri voice just says the definition of incognito at that point.
Hey, she's learning. You gotta make sure she's up on her knowledge.
But you can see she's a
indoctrination.
bit starry-eyed and excited.
Yep. So I tell Enzo that we'll be heading out front, meeting with fellow crew member, and then heading out into the city.
The one whose ship I latched onto.
Yes.
I've been meaning to apologize for that.
The princess is going for their first outing in 40 years.
But yeah, no one on
This
the
is definitely going to make a good drama.
no one on the ship stops you. You can give a quick report to the captain. He's totally fine with you heading out. Just says be careful and whatnot, especially with who's accompanying you.
Yep.
But safe travels and whatnot. We'll just say since Fia isn't here, her character had some sort of eureka moment about some
Working on nanotech.
some new thing and is just in the ship working on nanotech. Probably still ironing out all the different kinks in the stealth stuff.
I had agreed to buy her supplies too.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I had already deducted it from my
Yep.
amounts. So she's probably working on rebuilding up her ship. And,
Yeah, she's probably doing like modifications on the ship. We can
and
discuss
my ship's
the actual,
helping her.
Yeah, we can actually discuss the details of what that is next time Sophie is here. But she's working on something and is basically just shut in.
Okay.
You see that she kicked out the clones, who are just kind of out and about trying to socialize.
That's fine.
As I get outside, are the clones outside the ship?
I'll say that the one who kept getting tased is outside the ship.
I don't remember your name.
Pansy.
Pansy. Fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Okay. As you can see, my ship's doing a bit of work to itself.
Yeah, I saw the spooky claws.
Yeah. But this ship, this is filthy.
So he's maintaining a salute.
Okay.
He just sort of turns.
Don't you think?
I mean, it's gray, so isn't
Yeah.
that supposed to be that?
You should scrub it. Make it clean.
Yes, sir. I will acquire a mop. He runs over to a janitor, shoves him out of the way, and grabs his mop.
I knew he was gonna do that.
He walks back over to
I'm just
Fee's
sitting there.
ship, which is attached to the side of the starship and is like 25 feet in the air. He's like, I will acquire a ladder. And then he runs off again. He runs up to like a crew chief working on the next ship over. He's like, I will be borrowing this. And he grabs the ladder, but the guy stays on the ladder and he just pulls it over.
Yeah, once he brings him all the way
He
over.
brings over, you see he leaves, you hear a bit of shouting, and then he walks over with one of those big extendo ladders with a guy on top of it.
I am so
who's
glad I'm
very
filming all this.
confused.
This is a three.
I have acquired a ladder! And he sets it back up, and then he climbs up it and gets to the dude. I gotta see what happens here. Please exit the ladder! What? No, this is my fucking ladder. You need to... No, get up! I need
Alright,
to...
so you ready?
They're very much arguing, and then you hear a... Ah!
Ship, send a drone out here to monitor this. This is hilarious.
If you look to the right, the crew chief, the other ship's crew chief was pushed off the ladder.
Is
And
he
I-
alive?
He's alive. He gets up, like holding his back, puts a hand on something. You now see the clone pretty much just going with the mop. I will be the best mopper.
I want to be mad. I go over to the crew chief.
Sort of a like a middle-aged dude, very grizzled looking. That giant dumbass.
Hey, I walk over to the crew chief.
You gonna throw me off something too?
No, sir.
Okay.
And it's Sergeant Major, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, put your finger down. Like,
Sorry.
Put your finger down and lose it.
Sorry, I just got
accosted.
accosted by that 7-foot Nimrod.
I walk over to him and hand him, because last time I got a bag of chips. Like cash.
Oh, okay.
Like just a bag of the crystal chips. I take a handful out of it, which is about 700. and I give him the bag holding 3,000, and I kind of go closer to him. 1,000 for you and the other 2 guys he pissed off. Don't mention this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Keep anyone else around him and give him what he wants if there's any issues. That
Yeah,
should cover
well-
it for the day.
Yeah, covers more than the day.
Conducted him so well.
I just
Guy,
love that-
guy walks back over to his dudes who are very much just sort of standing around, like one's holding. They're just looking very confused as he walks back over. He's like, "Payday, boys!" Woo!
I know. I just paid them like 3 months worth of wages in one day. But hey,
Oh, more than that.
You paid them enough that they could buy their own little ship, basically.
you know what? Considering that it would have been a problem if the clone got in trouble, it was an easy solve, and I had a bag of cash. So I think it was from someone that we took, that we killed. And
Probably someone you killed and/or robbed.
yeah, that too. So,
It's at this point that the
and I'm sure that guy's gonna sit there and monitor that
Oh,
clone
yeah.
so he doesn't fuck with anyone.
they're interested now.
Yeah,
These credits are like Bitcoin. They're worth like thousands each.
feels like it.
It's kind of like
Now I'm ready to go.
it's kind of like how the like paper money you've seen thus far has been basically little plastic sheets. These are very much made of the same material but far thicker plastic coins, pretty much.
Yeah, like monetary coins.
Yeah.
Like yen style.
They're kind of like the size of poker chips.
Yep. And I just gave him a bunch of gold.
But at this point, the we'll say just Natasha, we'll just call her that since she has like
Yep.
10 names. Natasha and Enzo come out. She's like, "Oh wow, this is very dusty, and I don't think any of this is certified. But you know what? It kind of has a charm to it."
I'm glad you're happy, Natasha.
And then you still hear the clone going thwack, 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 thwack. Just wet slapping with the mop hitting the thing.
I am not going to be concerned anymore. I bought off the local guys. They'll cover him and keep him out of trouble enough that I
I
paid them
don't
well.
think that man knows how mops work. Sir? Sir, do you understand how mops
Let's go,
work?
Natasha. Let's go, Natasha.
I will be the best mop! he's shouting it to himself now.
And I'm just sitting there on my like videotaping all this. Like this is fucking awesome. you can't buy stuff this good.
It's gonna be a TV show, Life of the Clones. Which would be such a bad TV.
Chores with Pansy.
Wait, what was the other dude one's name? The one that was like really loyal and stuff. It's like Jeremy or something?
Jared, I think.
Jared. The clone life of Jared and Pansy.
Soon they just have their own little colony that they're just being videotaped living on, and they're pretty much content with that.
It's the real world.
Well, yeah, as you guys converge, Enzo does actually like extend a hand out and offers an apology for boarding your vehicle.
Oh, don't apologize to me. Apologize to her. She's the one you stepped on
Sort of turns towards the ship.
and ripped apart her claws.
One of the claws comes out and it goes kink. And then,
Oh,
as
it's
it,
so nice.
and
to
then as
see.
it pulls away, you see one of the claws sort of point out and do like the "I'm watching you" sort of thing.
Oh, they get along.
Better than I hoped.
So-
he walks back over.
On to the shopping district.
Yep. So I'll just
You guys can head out.
So Natasha, I know you've been out of the everything for a while. So have
yes.
I. If you see anything you like or anything that you want, let me know. And
Okay, I'm sure any costs I may accrue, you could.
cute outfit, you know. And
Thanks. I thought it made me look more like someone who would be on this ship, and less like the daughter of an extremely high-ranking someone that would be good for kidnapping.
I'll just relax and have some fun.
Yeah, I'm sure if I accrue any costs while we're out and about, as you bring me back to the moon, you can simply forward the charge to my father.
That's a possibility.
Well, why are we getting quiet? Is everything all right?
oh, of course.
I will remind you have not told her any of the
Yep.
information you learned
No,
about her
so-
dad.
Let's just make sure not to.
I would recommend,
Come
not
up with a
bringing up
backstory.
family or stuff like
All right,
that.
so my cover is that I'm an orphan.
Yes.
Sure.
Both of us. Yes, Adam.
You want to be my adopted daughter for now?
Sure.
That sounds perfect. Hey, What the Fuck Studios, adopted daughter. Sure.
Keep rolling with it. So we'll make our way into the
We adopt
city.
people.
What's the? I'm gonna make a perception check to see what the security situation. Yeah, nat 20.
What do you want to know?
What's the situation around the colony as we're walking towards the shopping district? I mean,
You see one of these dudes pretty much every 10 feet.
I want to know the access codes to there.
These like sort of armored stormtrooper-esque guys, you can see there's a lot of them here. And as you guys get to the financial district, you can notice that this place is considerably more lavish than other colonies you've been to.
So
You can tell from the outset that the technology was fancier, but now you see like these don't look like space houses. They're not like big metal boxes with like windows carved into them and window panes and whatnot made of electronics. These houses all look like actual furbished houses, big concrete buildings. Like this is a properly built, honest to God city inside this. And you can see with that, there's like, there's streets where you can see about 25 feet off the ground, speeders are going down. It's very much like Attack of the Clones, but a bit less extra. And you can see like pretty much at every intersection, there's a good collection of officers and a lot of these sort of armored stormtrooper looking dudes. It's high security here.
Okay. Okay.
It's not nearly as dingy. No alleyways with creepy hobos in them to get rocks thrown at them.
That poor guy. Happy dick though. Yeah. So I guess we'll just make our way to the shopping district. So it doesn't. So high security.
Yeah.
lavish.
Once you clear the sort of docking bay area, it transitions pretty quick from like fancy, serene, basically hallways like Tantive 4 from A New Hope that are all sleek and whatnot to more so like it looks like a neighborhood.
Okay.
Very very fancy neighborhood. Think like like rich New England town.
Yep.
Like Wellesley, sort of,
That
but like
works.
bigger, like it's a city.
Okay.
A lot of buildings, street merchants, people selling food, people selling tech. There's one guy trying to sell guns.
I motion over to you, and I mention I don't say it's loud enough. I'm sure that Natasha's.
If you're trying to hide something from Natasha, I will ask that you make a stealth check.
I don't really need to.
She is staying within very close to you, and you see Enzo pretty much shadowing her.
That's what I wanted, literally. But I was gonna tell you, I don't have to whisper it, but Dara was looking for more explosives for her grenade launcher.
I didn't pick that up. I just rolled a natural 20 and I picked it up before I left it. So I was just about to say, I'm going to do a perception check to see if there's any of the stuff on my list of stuff I'm looking for. Old media, apparently now shells.
Okay. Yeah, make a roll. Is that a 19?
Yes.
Damn. All right. So specifically, what are you looking for?
Classic old media. I'm looking for anything that is about the lunar race, or the lunar colonies
Okay.
of interest, and shells and other armaments. I'm also looking for outfits for her.
What kind of outfits?
Fun, punk, kind of
All right.
the stuff that your parents don't want you to wear, but the girl definitely does want to wear.
It's not a phase type of clothes.
Yeah.
It's not
Okay,
all right, yeah.
but that'll look really good and like good on TV kind of thing for her.
All right.
I
So
keep thinking about Misa Misa from Death Note, but
That's exactly kind of what I'm thinking.
So as you guys are walking down the street, you pass various street vendors. A lot of people selling food, funnily enough. But at the end, you see one guy, very much kind of older looking, has this sort of very shoddily set up like metal stand. Looks like made of tin, basically. But he's got all these boxes, and you see him waving a sort of like black rectangular thing over his head. And you hear him say, "Video rectangles! Get your video rectangles here!"
Well, I'll go over to him.
"Ah, sir, are you interested in a video rectangle?"
Yes. What you got?
Excellent. All sorts of immaculately preserved historical archives and tales from the olden days and
How much for
whatnot.
the lot?
The lot?
Yeah. Or otherwise, are you looking for employment? Nice to meet you. I'm Bob from What the Fuck.
Oh wait, you're from the guys doing the things.
Yeah.
I saw your things go overhead a little while ago. Yes, I am.
I'm always looking for new media for my channel.
I'm Corey Markle. I'm kind of the. A lot of people think I'm crazy. I've been collecting these film rectangles or video rectangles for a while because I think, preserving history is such a wonderful thing, and
I completely.
no one really
agree,
gives a
sir.
shit about it anymore. So
Isn't it horrible?
it's just the worst.
And then people have lost all this amazing entertainment.
Like, look at these historical archives. I mean, you've got, and he pulls one out. It's like, I don't know what this, I don't even know what era this is from, but it's such interesting historical information. And it's like,
Has all this been digitized?
digit. No, you need very old technology to play these. They're very much VHS tapes.
Yeah. So you haven't updated these to modern format yet?
Oh, that's why no one really buys them. I was
Well-
planning on packing up shop after today, honestly. No one's really giving a shit.
You really have a love for this, don't you?
I do. Could call me a historian.
Want a job?
How do you pay?
Cash.
Deal. And he grabs the open sign off. He grabs the open sign off of his stand, breaks it over his knee, shouts at the guy next to him. He like shouts a swear at him. It's like, when do I start?
Okay, so, I don't have room for you on my ship right now.
Okay.
Okay, so I can't take you with me. But, I start going to my little keypad. Ship. I need you to create a converter to convert like the
The VHS tapes.
VHS and so forth to digital format for upgrade. And I just start writing up a contract and stuff for him and start talking to
The
business.
ship's pretty amicable to it. You already had something similar to that for like DVDs and CDs and stuff.
Yeah,
So it doesn't take too long for it to make something that'll play tapes.
yeah. So I'll have a drone bring it over to him, and so the basic deal will be all of his stuff. He converts it over into a digital format, uploads it to the What the Fuck channel, and I will give him his own sub channel for playing this.
Oh, okay.
Um,
He's very amicable to it.
Okay.
He's
I can't offer you too much for pay right now, but let's say 100 credits a week.
that's more money than this stand has made in a solid year. So
Fantastic. Because
Uh,
I'm making more than that as
he's
easily.
making a lot of money.
Uh,
And he shakes her hand. He's very, very excited.
yeah.
So he's just going to be digitizing all his tapes over as a job.
So now I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah. Says if he comes into anything else, he'll reach out about sending you extra stuff.
Yep.
If he
You are now my new head of media acquisitions.
head of media acquisition. That sounds so fancy.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'll have a small drone for him too, because you know it's the easiest way to communicate and
Yeah.
shit.
One of the little football-sized ones.
Yeah. And
Links up with his communicator, which very much looks like a flip phone.
yeah, just so that it's enough of a connection with him.
So he can reach out to you, and you can reach out to him.
Yeah, and if you find more media, we can work on a budget for it.
Sure thing. Once that digitizer gets out here, I'll set to it that I digitize all these, and he gestures to a lot of full boxes of neatly stacked VHSs.
Cool. That's even better than buying it out. Now I don't have to do the work. Outsource.
He's like very appreciative, and he
Yeah.
keeps trying to shake your
Now
hand and
the
whatnot.
deal is though, this only goes to What the Fuck channel.
Oh yes,
None of those other bullshit copycats.
yes, I've heard about those. A lot of people are talking about how it's becoming the new thing to try to produce media. Of course, no one seems to be very good at finding it. So
That's why I've been looking for people just like you, and any
Come to
other
the right
people,
place.
any other collectors that you meet, let me know because we have an entire network we're forming here.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
sounds fancy.
Oh yeah, I'll send you a full information packet. We'll be in
I
touch.
run into anyone else. It's very rare I find a connoisseur of the old media arts, but if I run into anyone else, send them your way.
Fantastic. And I'm sure everyone else is now bored.
I don't know, we're just wandering the shops and vendors. I will buy some food for Natasha.
Yeah,
Street vendor meat.
You do see as as this conversation, she's like strafing the edge of that 1 meter thing, just sort of looking out, like, what is this? Is that food? I think that's food.
I'll bring her over and motion to Enzo to follow it while he's finishing up his conversation, and I'll get her some food.
You find the sci-fi equivalent of a taco stand.
I'll buy a bit of food there. I'll grab you something while you finish your conversation so I can walk over and offer you a taco.
Sweet. Don't question what meat's in it.
Nope. So
It's
yeah,
space, you make do.
Space food. You don't
I
question.
want to go to that. You said there was a guy selling guns.
Yeah.
Is he a vendor for an actual shop, or is that his full thing?
He's a vendor for a larger chain.
I'll approach him.
He's currently turned around fiddling with something, muttering to himself.
I'll just call out to him. Just hello, sir.
Ah, what? Oh, hello.
Hello, sir. I'm sorry to bother you. I have a request for some ship-grade grenades for a grenade launcher.
Grenade launcher or more like a cannon?
Cannon.
Cannon, okay. Nice. With the old database. I think I have what you're looking for. He scuttles underneath like a little shelf on his. He has a very big setup. It's everyone else sort of has like little stands or like maybe like a little area with some chairs. I feel like his setup basically his own little. It's like the people at flea markets who have like a bunch of tables and a tent over their thing, basically. And he scuttles underneath something pretty much and comes out with a big box of shells that you can see are pretty much like this big, pointed at the end, sort of these like curved, sharp screw-like things poking out of them. It's like these very rare type of round, and he drags the box over. It's very heavy. Slams it down. It's like these. They used to use these back during the lunar conflict. The Coalition used them to shoot ships out of the sky from ground-mounted artillery. The sharp curves, and he sort of runs his finger along one. It's like, they're very good for messing up electronics if they hit just the right spot.
As he's talking, and I'm looking
Heavy
very
grade,
intrigued,
pat, L.
I'll take a photo and send it to Dara and ask if these will do, just to make sure they work for her cannon.
Yeah.
Okay. I let the guy know how much I ask him how much it'll be for the whole box.
Whole box. Using D100s to calculate prices. Be 6,000 credits.
Shit. All right.
That's
Unless,
expensive.
unless you have an offer to make. Perhaps a trade of some sort.
Oh,
Bargaining, perhaps.
do you want to be involved with an arms seller?
What?
Do you want to be
Sorry.
involved with an
You're
arms
shouting
seller?
across the bazaar, basically.
Another one?
Sure. This one's franchised.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, you know the spiel. Go for it. I'll give you a commission if you sell it.
You can see that this guy is very much sort of like hunchbacked, sort of like kind of generic, creepy looking.
Because I'm still working on my guys,
Yeah.
right?
So he's very much sort of like doing this as you're talking, like perhaps you have items for trade or maybe
Now you're the businessman. I'm not.
negotiating deals, perhaps.
I'll just hand him the 6 Gs. Just transfer it
Oh
over.
wow! All right. Takes the box and pushes it towards
You're
you.
not going to try and offer him a...
That's your deal, not mine.
That was a plenty more resistance, but hey, money's money. Takes the money, shoves it in his pocket.
These are high-end grenades.
Like I
I
wrap-
figured they'd be pricey.
I can put these in a more official container. They're just sort of in a cardboard box at the moment.
I always say for that price, I would suggest it.
He drags it back over to a table, takes out what looks like just a very hefty suitcase.
Let me know when I'm finished with my
Yeah,
conversation.
you can finish up with him whenever. It's
Okay,
you're
then.
pretty much just repeating the same stuff you've told the other
And then when I'm
people.
done, I'll come over. So, I'm sorry. So what's going on now?
Comes back over with this big ass suitcase that he's loaded all the thingies into, and hands it to you.
I just say I found what I was looking for. No issue.
Oh, okay.
Ah, sir, are you interested in any firearms? Any weapons, perhaps?
Anything eclectic?
Eclectic.
Yeah. What's the weirdest thing that you would never expect to sell today? What'd you pick up?
I have an idea.
$1 need grenades for a launcher.
Oh.
As you two start talking, as you glance back, he's gone. You see him, he's on like the far corner of his little area searching through something. Where is it? Where is it? Aha! And he pulls out this very long sort of rifle, walks it over. This is a knife launcher. You load blades into it and fire them. It's almost like a railgun, but not.
Like for hunting?
I suppose you could load arrows into it.
Pick it up. How heavy is it?
It kinda. It's like a medium grade weapon.
Yeah, and plus I have power armor, so it's not.
Yeah, so it's not that. It's not that. It's kind of awkward to maneuver because it's very long, very
So let me
rectangular.
show. I need to see how it works.
Sure. And he clicks a button on his belt, and a little bullseye target whoop, pops up on like a far wall.
Okay.
He then roots around and he finds basically like a more sort of like advanced crossbow bolt, like a metal bolt. Hands it to you, free of charge.
Okay. Figure out how to load it.
It's pretty simple. You just like there's like a thingy that comes out. You slide it in, click it back together.
Shoot.
Make a range attack roll.
Six.
All right, so you arc it, you fire it, and then twink. Even with the power armor, you were just not holding it right. So you fire it, but then the force from firing it makes it go.
Gonna make an agility check to catch it. Nope, that's hitting somebody. I rolled a total of 10.
So the bolt that was fired from it hits the target, like the very edge of it, and as the gun pretty much just launches out of your arms and you fail to try to grab it, you see it's about to just full on smack Natasha in the face, and then Kenzo just grabs it, hands it back to you.
Yeah, I don't think I like this one.
Yeah, no one's really been too sold on it.
Yeah, I can see why.
Grabs it, scuttles off again, puts it away.
Now, if you're just gonna shoot these metal bolts, make it smaller and less kickback.
Yes, I carry much more just in the terms of I'm getting my voice confused now. I'm trying to do the old British man. I carry
Ballistics.
I carry much more standard firearms and ballistics. If you want wacky weapons, you could always go to solos or something like that.
Yeah. Do you have the? I don't know what they're called. They're those bullets you shoot someone with them, and an expanding foam comes out to encapsulate them to hold them.
Oh, I actually don't know what I call those.
Do you have those?
Yes, because that's really cool. He scuttles off again.
I'll look over at you while it's gone. I had no idea you guys had those. Really?
Would a history check of 17?
Oh yeah, these
They're rare.
rare, definitely not quite to the point where this is like rare illegal
Yeah, no.
munitions or anything, but no one really uses it's much like the railguns. No one really uses them that much anymore.
Yeah. I mean, the smaller the caliber, the less you can get for coverage. So, like, a pistol round might, encapsulate a leg as opposed to a whole chest. It's not like
Be
super
a lot better for
expanding.
immobilization. or
More
damage.
immobilization than
Yeah.
entrapment. But yeah, I mean, bigger caliber.
He comes back with a pretty like a cart basically, almost like a shopping cart, but pretty much just square shaped. And he pushes it up to you, and you can see that there are like boxes of these sort of shorter, stubbier, no pointed tip sort of rounds, with these little sort of not bubbles, but like a little half circular indent on the back of them.
Yeah, the glue shot.
Yeah, glue shot. That's a really good name.
Nice and simple.
Glue shot rounds. And he's like, for these, I'll offer them to you at a price of. Call that 3,000 credits
For the entire cart?
for the entire cart. This is well in around probably 1,000 rounds. I haven't
Different
sold
calibers, too,
sold
or-
any of this. One size fits all.
Oh, okay.
This guy's fantastic.
Hmm.
I can see why you went into business here. And you're part of a chain?
Yes, I'm part of the Alco Weaponsmith organization.
Oh, nice to meet you,
What?
from Alco Weaponsmith Organization.
Yes, I'm Kevin Alker. I'm one of the various people in. Not in charge. My family runs it.
If you have the name, you got to be a big shot, right?
I like that line of thinking.
All right. Yeah. So, by the way, I'm Bob from What the Fuck.
Oh, I've heard of you. A lot of
Of
people.
course
A lot of
you
people are
have.
talking. We'd heard that you had apparently docked here. or something.
Yeah. Yeah. We do advertisements for companies across the entire set.
I've seen the mech fights you sponsor and the drones going overhead.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah. You guys wouldn't want your name up on those too, would you?
I could reach out. Advertising is pretty hard in space, so
Not for me.
that's true. I've seen you. You have a lot of different people you work with.
Yeah.
Make a persuasion roll. I'll actually make you do a roll for this one, since I didn't make you do one for the other guy.
10 plus 13.
All right, yeah, you just had to beat a 10. I'll reach out to the rest of my family, inquire about it. They've been looking for some new advertising.
Here's my card.
They had this idea for like big signs just sort of free floating out in space, but that didn't really go anywhere.
No, and then you gotta wait for people to actually drive by them.
Yeah, space moves. They lost a lot of money on that.
Oh man, no, I can guarantee you'll make money
I'll
advertising
reach out.
through me.
I'll send
Hey,
them your contact
just
information if you
look
like.
at what's happening to the Holiday Inn Suites or whatever. Hold on, let me actually have names
I
here.
think it was Holiday Inn.
Just look at Valencia's.
Oh yeah, Valentes.
Yeah, from what I hear, they're going to be opening a whole bunch of new shops now.
Yes, a lot of people chaining and a lot more merchandising.
Yeah.
I heard even Solo's opened up a secondary location.
Yep. They're looking for more now too.
I'll reach out to my benefactors, as you will, and
Okay, not to mention, you've heard of Justitron, right?
yes.
Okay. They're the ones that made all the drones that you're seeing to the advertisements. Now, you don't have any military type drones, do you?
No, but we've been looking into perhaps branching into that sort of realm.
Well, wouldn't I be a fantastic one to help put you in contact with Justitron to work together to make up a flagship product?
I like your funny words.
Yeah, here's my card. Be in touch.
Takes the card. He's like, I'll reach
Yeah.
out to the rest of my associates about this. And
So you said the entire cart was 2,000, right?
are you intentionally shortlisting him?
Yep.
Make a roll. Make a persuasion to convince him that it
See.
was 2,000.
14.
He rolled a 13.
So
Like,
it's kinda-
no, but
Did I-
yes,
did I say
2,000.
Fantastic. I'll take them.
He pushes the card over you. You can
Okay.
transfer the
I'll have
funds.
a drone come and pick it up because I have a drone bringing over the equipment for
Yeah.
the guy next door.
I will say, as you're over here talking, the little football drone carrying the thingy out to him, it's actually a very compact machine, the digitizing thing. It looks like a VHS player, basically, with sort of like a little nodule on top that we're like a little database
Okay.
to store stuff. It sort of arrives just in time, sets that down, buzzes on over.
Hey, new ammo. I'm gonna take a clip, like 20 shots of it.
Yep.
So now I have glue gun.
Yep. Glue shot. The unsuccessful hit, they have to make a dex saving throw. If they fail, they're partially immobilized by.
And I'll take 20 shots
Okay.
out of it.
When your drone comes, I'll throw the grenades I got on the cart for it to take with it, because there's no point in me just carrying this bag around.
He pushes the shopping cart towards the drone, and its little hands come out and grab the handle on it. You hear an affirmation from the ship, and it makes the Jetsons' little hovering noise as it starts pushing the cart.
I let Dara know that the grenades are en route.
Get like a thumbs up, and basically an emoji.
These drones are fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
I love these guys.
They're useful. So yeah, then we'll make our way into the city.
Sam, make a perception check.
That would be an 11.
As you get like further into this financial district, noticing a lot less just kind of sort of people on the streets. Still some vendors, more things that are like buildings with sort of like ice cream shop windows, but just not a whole lot of regular citizens.
Do I notice anything strange about that?
On an 11, no. It could just be wrong time of day. I forget what time I said it was last session, but we'll say this is like,
Midday?
yeah, this is like probably,
I thought we were starting in the morning.
right around,
Yeah.
it's like late morning, I'd say.
So 10 or 11-ish.
Yeah,
That's
11-ish.
fine.
Could just be everyone's at work.
So we'll keep moving. I asked when you're scheduled to meet with the guy at the counter place.
Yeah, it's in like 2 hours,
So
right?
you've established it's like 11 o'clock. Yeah, like around 1 p.m.
Yeah. So we'll be getting lunch with them. It'll be kind of a late lunch, so we got another like 2 hours.
Oh, who are you meeting with? So, Tasha, sort of.
Oh, I'm sorry, Natasha. It's gonna be some really boring business stuff. Like,
I'm good at business.
oh, well then, by all means, you can feel free to listen in.
Yes.
I don't know what's gonna be happening yet, but you know, I try my best to run a good business,
I can appreciate
to
that.
run it fair.
From I've only known you for 24 hours, but from what I've seen in that time, you run a very
Effective.
I am blanking on the terminology I wanted to use. It's a very, very effective,
It's been profitable.
tightly run ship, or however the term goes.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible and provide a good service for good people.
I'd say it's effective. It's significantly funner than it was when I went into cryosleep.
Yeah, I mean, when I went into sleep, everything was about entertainment, and now I come out and there's no entertainment.
When were you frozen?
Oh, it was like a long, long, long time ago.
Like 2300s?
Longer.
22?
It was like 2030.
Her eyes go wide. Oh my god, cryogenics had just been invented.
Yeah, I'm a freak.
You lucky bastard. It is a miracle you didn't end up as a person-sicle.
Hey,
Point.
that's the story of Bob.
Oh, but yeah, you guys can carry on.
So, did you see any outfits you like yet? Because I mean, that's cute and all, but you know, you are a beautiful young girl. I'm not trying to be rude or hit on you or anything, but you know, don't you just want to dress up part of it?
Thought I was trying to not stick out.
I've learned if you don't want to stick out, stick out. Because everyone will ignore the one that's, or stay away from the one that doesn't look like they fit.
That is wise.
I mean, look at me.
You do sort of
I'm
look like
flamboyant.
you do sort of look like a pirate.
Okay.
Or no, you're dressed up in the mech suit now, so you do sort of look like that Ironed Man from the things.
Yeah. Well. And look at the business I'm doing.
That is true. Sure, I'd be up for some shopping.
And none of them would ever think of the fact that there's a price on my head. And
I keep
that,
forgetting the fact that you're just walking around in this mech suit. Sorry, because I've been imagining the conversation thus far as you in your cool pirate outfit talking to these guys, but now I just
my
see
neck suit's been customized into a pirate
now,
outfit.
now I just see fucking purple Iron Man just ching ching ching. Hello, I'd like to make a deal.
No, I got the face mask over.
Yeah, I imagine you got the helmet, but then also the hat is attached to it and whatnot, and the cape and whatnot.
Yep. So yes, I have a mechanical suit, but it doesn't overly look mechanical. I still got like the
Yeah.
flamboyant like outfit on over it.
Yeah. But yeah, Natasha's she's down to try to get some more experimental clothing than just basically a military jumpsuit that she just rolled up the sleeves of.
Yeah. So let's look into something that's like height of fashion. Like,
Okay.
Let's find like the most expensive clothing shop.
Yeah, make an investigation roll.
15. Oh, investigation. I get advantage then. Yeah, that didn't help. So 30-20.
Okay, you find a relatively fancy looking, or not fancy looking, but like sort of pristine neon signs, big windows showing off very flashy outfits, lots of like sharp colors and literally sharp outfits.
What do you think of these?
These are ridiculous. Puts her hands on the windows. I love them.
All right, go ahead.
Ran, am I allowed to disengage from this 1 meter distance, or
Are we in a vendor shop or inside of an
you're just sort of
actual shop?
outside like this very spiffy neon clothing shop?
I tell Enzo that, yeah, she can
I'll keep an eye.
keep an eye on her, thank you. And
She-
then she can run
She
off.
rushes in basically, and,
Yeah.
and he follows in after.
As long as he's with her, I'm fine with it. He doesn't have to stay with me, that's fair.
And while she's looking at stuff, so dude, was that a good price for those type?
I just rolled to see how long she'd be in there. She's gonna be in there for 50 minutes.
We have time to burn.
You have time to burn.
Yeah.
And me and you aren't particularly doing anything at the moment until you have to go to dinner, so.
Yeah, so we're just standing outside the shop while she's
Okay.
in there shopping.
There's a couple other street vendors nearby, sort of in the proximity.
Yep.
Just chat, look
Still,
around.
Still not really a lot of people on the street, but
Yeah. Let me do one of those perception.
Can I do another one that I just rolled for with a nat 20?
11.
So you just rolled a nat 20 on perception? Okay,
Nice.
yeah. Holy shit.
What am I seeing now?
And I have an 11 on perception while I'm talking to
On
him.
11, you just sort of notice the general absence of casual civilian life. You know, as guards, guards are patrolling the streets, usually in like pairs of two. There's a lot of vendors, a lot of open stores, not a lot of people. So yeah, on a nat 20. Wait, I don't have to stop. I don't have to not talk about these things anymore because now it's public information about your former job.
Oh, yeah.
On a nat 20, you're pretty familiar with the fact that lunar wraiths would sort of empty out towns prior to making moves. As much as they are fully down for murdering coalition officers, they don't like civilian casualties as much. Or unnecessary civilian casualties. Mars was necessary, according to them.
But yeah, you said there's so much security here. They're
there's so
setting
much-
up an armada in the docks. Like, I mean,
Oh yeah, by the way, they have 2 other of those like heavy armored, heavy gun ships that they're going to send out with you.
yeah.
And
so-
there's a military presence here, unlike that what you've seen.
yeah, you were saying
a lot
guards
before.
all everywhere. So, I mean,
On that 20, I'll say that you have 2 ideas. Either A, the increased military presence has scared off all of the citizens, basically, or B, something very sketchy is going on here that's very familiar to you as a former Lunar Wraith, because they did sketchy shit. I know thus far they've mainly tried like very big open assassinations, that they're very much a sort of like infiltrate espionage sort of group.
I'll sit on that for a moment.
Do you share any of that with me?
No. I'm just thinking about it.
It's just really weird.
Mm.
Lack of life.
So she seems to be having fun in there.
Yeah, it's good that she can finally stretch her legs and actually leave the ship for a bit.
Yeah, I'll get her an outfit that her dad'll hate. It'll show better on TV, you know?
I mean, I think that if she's going to be a presence, then she needs a costume of some sort.
Exactly.
I say that with my drone costume lying next to me.
Admit it, you love the costume. It's growing on you.
Slowly but surely.
You get to be a badass when you put it on.
That's true.
I trust me, I understand how you feel. This thing is awesome.
It is awesome, by the way.
We didn't have this back in my day.
It doesn't even really feel like you're wearing this big bulky mech suit. It feels like you're just kind of wearing regular clothes. It's as durable as this stuff is, and it is durable. The ship did do like preliminary durability tests where it just did some like
But now
minor
it-
stuff, but it's also extremely lightweight. It's like
It's
that
all
perfect.
custom fit.
It's whatever this stuff is made out of. It's that perfect ultra lightweight but ultra durable metal that every fictional universe has.
Taurus steel.
Yeah.
And imbued with nanites so that it can change color and
You could actively have
Go
the color
invisible.
just changing, or the cloak. Yeah, you do have the cloaking stuff now.
so. Yeah, I thought this place was a bit more populated.
I don't know why it seems quieter here. It should be because it's midday. Most people are working after lunch and breakfast, but
What was the name of the company I'm going to meet?
Did I give the company's name or just the guy's name?
Well, the guy's
I
name.
think I just gave the guy's name. His name was, I remember his first name, was Odin Carthen.
Yeah. So Odin Carthen, you ever heard of him?
history of 13.
Maybe. It's a pretty, it's definitely a unique name. Not any sort of military contact, though. Might have heard it on the news.
I just tell you that I've heard the name, but don't know anything more about it.
Oh yeah. So then.
Definitely like someone who keeps to himself.
So when we get to the restaurant, why don't you get a table with her, and stuff, and eat, and I will go meet with him separately.
Sounds good.
Keep an eye out for me, cause in case anything goes wrong, if you don't mind.
No, I'll keep a definite eye out. I also radio into Jenkins and Reynolds.
Yes, sir. Jenkins is like on the top of his game right now. He's trying to prove himself because he's been
Good boy.
fucking up a lot lately.
Little bit. I tell Reynolds and Jenkins to do a walkabout of the harbor, look for any suspicious ships, look for people, take any photos, and send it via data link immediately. And then I'm gonna radio the pilot.
Of the ship?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, no. And the other one's next to me.
Yeah, so
Um,
you call Griffin, I think was her name.
Yep. Griffin, any things sketchy out there?
Hold on. Just kind of been cooped up in the bridge for a bit. Let me-
Figured it'd be good to give you something to do.
Nothing sketchy on the docks. They're doing a lot of maintenance on the two ships next to us, but I think those are our military escorts. Clones are kind of in a tizzy, but they're always in a tizzy, even though they've only been here for 24 hours. I feel like there's going to kind of be a constant thing.
I have no argument to that.
That one that kept getting tased offered to mop down the offices, but we kind of told him no when he got really sad. But I haven't seen any sketchy activity here. A lot of busy work going on. A lot of very big ships being worked on. So big crews of engineers working on stuff. Anything I should be on the lookout for? Or any suspicious people? Or
Not at the moment. Do me a favor though, and reach out to the crew chief for the the mechanics, and let him know to finish up what he's doing as soon as possible.
sure thing. Just so you know, we're still about like 9 hours out from leaving, probably.
Just in case.
Just in case if we have to make a hot exit.
Yep.
We do have protocols written for hot exits, so.
While that conversation's going on, I'll go into the store and
You go into the store, and this place is very early 2000s, but in sort of a futuristic way.
I love it.
You see a lot of like trench coats and high
Hot Topic.
Hot Topic. Very much like this looks like a store made by the costume department of the Matrix.
Okay, I'm gonna put. If she hasn't picked out an outfit yet,
If as you walk in, you see Kenzo has a lot of bags.
alright, I'm gonna look through and put together like a complete raver, shiny, like PVC vinyl and like Fifth Element style.
As you're like going through stuff, and you see a lot of very flashy outfits, and there's a lot of things with very high swooshy collars and spiky
Nothing like that.
shoulders.
Something that looks comfortable, easy
Comfortable.
to wear.
As you're looking through that,
but
a door.
shiny, flamboyant.
One of the doors of the changing rooms opens up, and she walks out, full blown like the really big shades. She's got like this trench coat basically that like goes. It might as well be a cape. It's like this bright sky blue, but then she's also got like these like knee high boots that have all these neon green lights on their sides, sort of going up and down, like that little red bar on Boba Fett's chest. She sort of comes out, hands on the hips, Superman style.
Looking good, girl.
I was debating between the giant shades and then one of those, as she points over to what's very clearly sort of like the thing that Geordi has on his eyes in Next
You know
Generation.
what? I would skip the shades.
Really? But I felt like I could put them on for dramatic effect.
Yeah, but then they hide your face.
True?
We wanted to be the face. We can't have the face obscured.
Alright.
We don't tell her that. But
She
that's
puts
the logic.
she puts the shades away.
Yeah, no, I make it sound. You know,
Yeah.
They hide your face. You know, show off your. Why would you want to hide a face like that?
Oh, thank you. She puts the glasses back kind of sadly. Gives the glance over towards the visor thing. She's like, I don't know. I think this is relatively good. I picked out some alternative choices, and Enzo was holding those for me. And you see he's holding like 3 bags on each arm.
I'll go to the clerk. Is the owner here?
The owner?
Yeah.
Dad. He's usually in the back working on papers. Would you like to talk to him?
Yes, please.
I could just get my manager for you if you have a problem, sir.
I'd like to go straight to the owner if he is available. Otherwise, the manager would be fine.
Okay, this isn't like a robbery, is it?
Oh no, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I am impressed with your stuff here.
Okay, thank you.
Hey,
Sorry.
By
Sorry.
the way, I'm Bob from What the Fuck.
Oh, hey, I was just listening to you the other day.
Exactly. You know, so maybe now You
Yes,
understand?
this seems a lot less threatening now. Yeah,
Yeah.
The way you came up with that, even I would be like,
this sounds a lot
What?
less like a guy going
I'm
into.
sorry, man.
This sounds a lot less like a guy walking up to a bank teller and saying, "Give me everything in the register."
Oh no, I wasn't doing anything like that, sir. You know, I just wanted to
Yeah,
talk
our
to the owner.
space is pretty safe, but we still get robbers every now and then, and there's just people selling guns in the streets. So,
You gotta fix that, man.
oh yeah, I'll go talk with my boss, and he sort of wanders away, or back into one of the back rooms.
When the boss comes out, I'll do the full like charisma bullshit.
The boss comes out. He's this very sort of short, stout-looking dude. He's very grumpy. As he comes out with the other guy who was at the desk, he's very grumpy until he says, "This is Bob from the What the Fuck station." He's like, "Wait, it's Bob? Holy shit!" And he runs over to the desk.
Greetings and salutations.
Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've been me and the missus. We love listening to your program there.
And I'm loving these clothes here.
Oh, really? Not a lot of people like these. You can see that he's
You haven't found your market. That's the problem.
He sort of this guy sort of looks like a miniature version of the mutant leader from The Dark Knight Returns. So he's that
Okay.
like wide, bald, sort of tubby, pig nose looking dude, and he's very much dressed up like cyberpunk with the visor and whatnot. Like not a lot of people appreciate this kind of style anymore.
Oh, that's why you need to advertise, man.
Advertise, you say?
Yeah. You know, do a fashion show. You can film it, and then I can let everyone in every space colony know that these fashions are out there.
I will say at this point that Natasha comes up with now a silver, sort of like chrome looking jacket instead. She's like, because I just remembered that Fee dyed her hair white, so I thought the colors I picked out kind of
give her
not
the
going
white
to work.
aesthetic.
Yeah, so she's now going for like a silver and sort of black sort of thing, still with the neon green lights and whatnot.
Oh, I like it.
Thanks. I thought that I'm not used to, and she sort of like gestures to that. I'm not used to this, so but there's still a lot of stuff in Kitsu comes over with the very heavy bags.
You know, I'm looking at this. I'm seeing her. You know, by the way, this is Natasha. Okay, this is going to be one of the new people you're going to be seeing a lot of, I think.
Oh, it's wonderful to meet you.
On What the Fuck.
Are you doing business with Mr. Bob? Yes, I'm doing. We were just talking about fashion shows or something like that. That's it.
Yeah. So, you picked out quite a bit there, Carl.
Sorry, a lot of choices.
Yeah. Well, you really like all those choices, huh?
There's a lot in here.
This has been the best source so far, hasn't it?
Yeah.
See? There are people out there that want your stuff, man.
So
So-
were you thinking of doing advertising for us?
Would you want me to advertise for you?
Don't see why not. And he sort of like
Yeah.
hits the guy next to him in the shoulder. He's like, "Oh yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't want any advertising."
Well, it is $500 a week for advertisement.
It's a little rough.
That's a bit much, but
That's a little rough, but
okay. But that includes me doing all of your all your publicity,
You know
all
what?
your video. But you know what? I can make you a deal.
you had me at deal. And he puts out a hand.
Oh, you don't even want to know the details.
Okay, well, no, I still want the details, but like I'm very, very keen to this idea.
Okay, let's say $250. Throw in the clothes for her, and I will put sponsored by your clothing every time that she appears.
You've got a deal. And he puts out his hand again.
Okay. So what's the name of this place?
Ah, shit. Should just have this on standby. Trying to think of a spiffy name. Boutiques aren't for clothes; they're for hair, right?
Yeah.
That's a salon. Boutique is clothing.
Boutique is clothing.
PV Rags.
Sure.
Okay. $250 a week. Privy.
Sam, are you looking for anything while you're in the store? Or?
No, not really. I'll just let them shop.
Sorry, it's been a lot of business.
Oh, that's fine.
That's what happens when you go down to the marketplace with the
Yeah.
businessmen.
Yep.
I see a lot of great gaudy outfits.
So we got all the clothes.
They
for
they
free.
have literally a shelf that's just increasingly bigger shades.
Yeah, no, this appeals to me personally. So.
Yeah, I figured as much. But yeah, the guy is really keen on the idea of advertising, and you get yet another contact.
Yeah, so that'll bring that up to 13,000.
We haven't done any business in a little while, so.
And I didn't actually start a business with the arms guy yet, so he'll be in contact later for it, maybe.
I will say, Sam, make another perception check.
14.
As you're just sort of glancing around the store, I'll say that as your eyes turn towards those big windows with the mannequins wearing the very gaudy clothing, you do see a shadow dart away from the window.
Oh.
No details, but you see movement.
As we're preparing to leave, I call one of the larger drones over to pick up all the stuff.
You radio it within like seconds. It comes down, blows away some dust you can see.
Okay.
If you're looking at any camera feed, it shows the drone is seeing the front of the store and it's just vacant.
So, load the stuff on the drone.
A lot of little arms come out on the bigger one. It grabs all the bags. It grabs anything else you want to give it.
So that way we don't have to carry it. So ready for lunch?
Sure.
Is it just me or... Just to be fair. 18 plus... Yeah. So when I get out there, the place is much more vacant, huh?
Yeah, seems like some shopkeepers are sort of closing down for the day.
Turn back to the shopkeep. You know anything special going on out here today?
There's some sort of rally or something happening in the area.
Really? What kind of rally?
Lunar politics and whatnot.
A lunar rally?
You know, the people on the moon, they haven't been... The war was 200 years ago, but they still act like it's ongoing, and they just keep asking for more reparations and...
War. What's it good for? You know, we just keep fighting and nobody ends up progressing.
But they apparently bought out, like, the street or something for their big rally. They have some figurehead speech guy who's gonna probably say propaganda to a crowd. And,
Oh, do you know who's speaking?
not off the top of my head. Give me a moment. He sort of goes over to like a very sort of like Fallout terminal looking thing and clicks some buttons together. I should just keep this paper handy. That's
You
just
know him?
No. Name is Nikos Alessandro.
Okay.
Big,
Fancy.
big lunar politician.
Interesting.
Uses a lot of fancy words.
Dude. I'm getting a weird feeling about this meeting coming up.
I will say you do notice that the military presence is still around. Shops are closing, but you can still pretty much every time you look out see at least one of those sort of stormtrooper-looking dudes. The Coalition's stormtrooper-looking dudes.
Does this seem weird to you too, man?
Definitely not normal. But lunar meetings do happen.
I will say you do know that the lunar politicians are very loud, and as much as the moon, the lunar government sort of acts like this, oh no, don't hurt me, we're just the little moon, we're just kind of up here doing our own thing. They are, in a sense, always trying to get something from the Earth. And they'll often levy the lunar conflict in order to do so.
So how do you want to handle it? Yeah, it's looking a little weird. It looks like they might have a meeting and they have a tendency to get loud. That's why it explains the military presence and the people vacating.
You want to invite your girlfriend for lunch
Sure.
with us?
I'll
Yeah.
also call Reynolds to run the background.
Yeah, Reynolds looks up like, yes sir.
Meet me at Tiff's counter?
Skiffs.
Skiff's counter with, and then I'll radio Dara and ask her to lunch.
Yeah, you can tell Reynolds to just bring Dara.
Yep.
Dara. He's like, yes sir, in his solid snake voice that I can't help to do.
It's a good voice. Yeah, so just in case the riot gets out of control.
I will say Reynolds
not
asks
riot.
if they should bring means of defense.
Yes.
Understood.
Just
Covertly.
Yeah, nothing fancy. Just kind
I
of.
don't know how Officer Clemens is going to manage that, but we can try.
Yeah.
You hear him shout, anyone have a really big guitar case?
I would pay so much money to see Donna carrying a guitar case that has so much in it. Sounds about it?
Kept you in the cage?
You asked me to keep them separate. How else do you want me to do it?
You see, Reynolds shouts that out to the rest of the ship. He's like, all right, sir, we'll try to figure something out. I don't know, maybe we can make it look like a big umbrella.
But yeah, so.
He hangs up and they say they'll meet you shortly.
Yep, I'm going to, yeah, so after that, we'll just head to the bar.
Yeah, it's, you keep going in. It's very much the interior of this. Thus far, a lot of the colonies, I've explained before, there's sort of like this T shape, where you
Yeah.
have this big rectangular area for the dock, and then this sort of circular tube-like thing where all of like the residents will be. And most of them are set up so that that T is basically on the side, and it's just a long stretch of land. But this one is set up pretty much in the opposite way, where you've got levels. Not too many, you've got like 3 levels, which are just different sectors, and they all sort of lead inwards. So as you keep going inwards into, from the area that leads out from the dock into the business sector, past the like homing sector, you reach like the really fancy one, where like all these big business locations are, and in the midst of all of it, you do see, what was the name again?
Skiff's counter.
Skiff's Counter. It's a very fancy looking bar.
Okay.
Or not bar, but like tavern, club sort of area.
Okay.
Think of it as like Iceberg Lounge.
Okay. Sounds good, so.
And we'll say,
So why don't you go ahead and take her, meet up with your girlfriend, go get a table.
you'd hear a shout at this point. You turn and you see Reynolds and Dara, who has crammed the cannon inside a truly gigantic guitar case. Just because I thought that'd be a funny sight gag.
That would be. So I
It
tell,
looks very ridiculous, especially just given that she's still in military uniform.
So I ask. So yeah, I'll go in and get a table for me and Dara.
Yeah.
I'll sit with.
It's a pretty fancy location
Natasha.
that you would have probably had to call in advance if you didn't like flash any of your
Yeah, I just walk
connections.
in there and
You
flash the military ID.
you flash a badge and like, we'll take you over here, sir. We just had a booth open up.
Here's someone yelling outside the building.
Like, hey, wait, I wasn't done with my soup.
So yeah, and we'll get comfy. I'll order us dinner.
Yeah, you can set up. They pretty much give you a corner booth, kind of away from everyone else.
Yep.
It's one of those sort of U-shaped ones. Kenzo does come in, but he doesn't sit down. He sort of stands next to the table.
Yep, that's what I expected. I mean, honestly, he looks like a manservant at this point. You know, so that's kind of what I'm going with.
So are you, just in regards, because we have a lot of NPCs on the table, so you, Natasha, Enzo, Dara, and Reynolds are going to
I'm gonna tell
here?
Reynolds to hang out outside.
Hang out outside? Okay.
I will order some food and have it brought out to him. I'm not a dick, you know. Smell this food, but don't eat. No, I'll order him something.
They bring him like a sandwich.
Yeah, that's
like,
all.
like a really fancy sub.
That's
And I'm waiting
enough.
outside, waiting for this
Yep.
other guy to show up. I am purposely going to be late for my meeting.
You wait around for a bit. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Seems like he might not show up, and then you can see it in the distance because it's a very large, gaudy vehicle, but basically a flying limousine. Just
How on time is he?
fashionably late, we'll say. Like a nice 10 minutes.
Okay. So
Sort of, it literally looks like a limousine, and it sort of comes down into the street, and then wheels sort of DeLorean out from it, and it lands. It's
So
the
you had
first.
the exact same idea you did.
It's the first time you've actually seen a vehicle with wheels outside of like landing gear.
Cool.
It's painted this this color basically. It's very dark, sort of reddish. And as it pulls up, are you standing outside the restaurant?
Oh yeah, I'm completely like leaning up against the
So
as nondescript
as
as
it
possible.
pulls out, you see like a couple of guys. As nondescript as a giant purple Mexican.
Yeah, I was gonna say nondescript.
A
You
giant
can't pull that
purple
shit off.
Mexican
You'll
dressed
spot
up
it at
as a
100
pirate
yards.
can be.
Yeah, just sitting there bored, tapping my foot.
A couple people get out. One goes over to a door, opens it up, and you see a masked man step out. Sort of steps out. He's got this very sort of, It kind of looks like Enzo's big thing, but a lot thinner to the point where you could actually see like a head fitting inside it. But he's wearing this sort of dome-like mask. Can't see his face. He steps out wearing a very fancy tuxedo with a high-collared cape, pretty much, that has sort of draped over his arms. Looks like this, basically.
Okay.
Steps out, thanks to the guy who opened the door. Sort of scans the area, sees you, approaches, flanked by two guys. You must be Bob.
You must be Odin.
Yes, it's good to meet you at last. The people have spoken wonders about what you've been up to.
Oh. Everything I've been doing has been very easily open and available for the world to see.
That's hard to find these days.
Yeah. It's amazing how low communication has come.
Indeed. I apologize for my lateness.
Yeah, I was
The
about to give up.
sky traffic, as you have it, is a bit of a nightmare. They're trying to keep people clear of the business sector because of that rally that's happening.
Yeah, I heard about some rally.
It's par for the course in this area. It's easy for people who reside on the Earth or Moon to get out here and back relatively quick. So they make a lot of trips out here to talk about whatever they're talking about.
Sounds
I
pretty
very much prefer to talk business. If you're still
I was
inclined,
about to say, sounds boring. Let's talk about something interesting.
let's head inside then.
Alright.
Sort of leads the way.
Yep.
At this point, I can do a map transition.
Do you want to take a break?
Yes, please.
Okay. That sounds good to me.
Guys are lucky this is the very last second session, or else I would have given this guy a ridiculous voice. If I had time to plan it.
Yes.
I was thinking maybe like Christopher Walken.
Good luck with that one. I tried. Christopher Walken's a hard...
It is hard to
I can't do
It
it.
would probably deteriorate into something completely different, but I can do it short term.
You can get a quote here and there, but it's hard to do
Is
that
it in
shit.
here? Is it?
Uh,
Too many
Like-
maps.
for the next for the Primal Campaign 2, I'm working on a Persona 2 that is as gray as you can get.
Hmm?
That is like as gray as you can get.
Okay.
Do you remember? Do you guys ever see the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
It's been a long time, like 20-something years.
Been a bit.
Do you remember the monotone teacher, Ferris?
Oh, yeah.
Ferris,
Oh, yeah.
like that one. Yeah, I'm basing a character on that type of.
Nothing wrong with that.
Unfortunately, when it comes to generic voices, I have scratchy, high-pitched scratchy, low-pitched scratchy, and British.
Well, when do you do your... I like Reynolds Solid Snake.
I would be doing it
Yeah,
more
true.
often, but I like being able to use my voice.
Yeah.
So
Alright, so we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna stop the stream.